Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His
So we're back for another episode of the Wigan Way. Four rounds of Super League in, lads, and we're the only side in England unbeaten in the top flight, definitely.
Yep.
Another win down in London. How's it feeling following the World Champs round? Lou, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good. I think, you can't ask for a better start, couldn't we? Especially because we thought the win against Penrith would, could have put us a bit of a hangover. And we don't know if we're going to maybe suffer that later on and see if it'll catch up to us. But for now, you just got to keep taking the wins as they come and enjoy it. And it was, get down to the capital and get the job done and get home. And I think that's what we did.
Yeah, we've had two reasonably nice games, you would say, after Penrith, haven't we? Huddersfield at home and then playing London. It's a reasonably nice game.
I think the thing for me is as well, we've rested the bodies now that I was worried about. Cade Ellis had a rest this week.
Yeah.
He rested a lot more than I thought he was going to rest before.
Yeah, Marshall's obviously had a week off. French and Smith had a rest. You're only talking about maybe Miski, who didn't play many of the friendlies, the two centres, Field, who haven't really had a rest. Mago, not had a rest, but isn't doing the biggest minutes.
No,
and in the form of his life.
Mago's worked a lot on his conditioning over the winter, obviously, so it's important for him to play every game so far.
Mago currently sitting joint second on the Man of Steel leaderboard after 4 rounds.
If Patrick Mago wins the Man of Steel, they should just make him the lifelong winner of it, just never award it to anybody else.
What do you reckon the odds were at the start of the season for Patrick Mago to win Man of Steel in
ridiculous.
2024?
They'd give you the actual keys to the shop.
Would you donate to get a cast made of steel of Patrick Mago outside the ground?
Yeah,
I will sell my labour to remove the statue of David Whelan and put up a statue of Paddy Mago inside of BW.
That should happen.
All the hard labour.
That should happen even if he doesn't win.
Who wins Man of Steel? On a serious note, though, having a look at the Man of Steel, who do you think's any favourites now to win it? I don't think Sneed's a bad shout, me. I know he's already ahead.
Sneed, yeah, he's ahead, but I mean, you can't.
Sneed's playing well. Mikey Lewis has started the season strong at OK.
George Williams will always be up there.
Williams will always be up there.
Bevan French will always be up there.
It's just
over the course of the season.
The setup of it now suits teams in that 8 to 4.
If you're a standout player in a
middle table team that get enough wins, and Salford have punched above the weight so far. From what everyone backed him to finish in the bottom 3, I think Mark Sneed's a very, very good shout. I'd love to see what his odds were at the start of the season because they'll have dropped really quickly. He started the season off like a house on fire.
I imagine he would have been Salford's shortest odds.
Yeah, probably. Maybe Brearley.
Yeah, good point.
Right. So, Super League. We've just gone down to the capital to play London. What's our general feeling on the game, lads? Are we happy? Any concerns? What do we think?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Like you said last week, we've not conceded points for a long, long time. We conceded the most points in almost a year.
Well, it's the most points since July.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not that bothered because we had a lot of change, didn't we? A lot of change in our spine and a lot of change in our forwards as well. So yeah, I'm really not bothered with the concession of 22. I'm happy with scoring 60.
Yeah, I think it was just a case, like I said at the start, then I think get down there, get the 2 points done. We know London's not the strongest side, but just play the team that's promoting from. So you get 2 points, job done, come on.
Nice healthy points difference.
Get ready for Thursday.
Short week to Thursday, so yeah, I'm happy with it.
Well, that's it. We talked about the players that didn't play, and we can mention them now. Obviously, Eckersley played on the wing for Marshall.
Yeah.
Hampshire and Jack Farriman played for Smith and French.
Very early for Jack Farriman to be given his debut.
Yeah.
I thought he did well, but yeah, it was very early.
Is he 18?
Yeah.
We had Junior December come back
Good to see him back.
Yeah, great to see
Yeah,
him.
good to
I'm
see him.
just thinking about who else
He has
played
another
that was
dimension.
probably outside of that.
Chan
Obviously,
played, didn't he?
Chan played, Harvey Hill played,
Harvey Hill's played.
Hill played
Tom
well.
Forber played.
Yeah.
Players that
If you're
possibly
picking,
aren't in your strongest 17.
if you're picking at the start of the season, I know we just had a bit of a joke about him, but you might not have put Mago in. With so many strong forwards, Byrne, Havard, Cooper all missing prop forwards.
Yeah.
And you're saying Thompson's a shoe-in, isn't he? When he's been great, so...
England international Tyler Dupree should be a shoe-in.
And Tyler Dupree. So, yeah, Mago probably wouldn't have been in that starting lineup at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I think a couple of lads, I was impressed. I think it was nice as well to see a couple of the young lads come through. Because obviously for his try, looked like he had a good set of wheels on him.
Very sharp,
very-
really sharp.
Yeah, very sharp, quick, fast. Barrowman, speaking of him, showed lovely hands for Wardle's opening first try. A lovely catch,
brilliant, yeah.
catch pass very quickly for Wardle's first one. So
That
it
was
was nice
very
to see
good.
some of the young lads come in and see what they can do, really.
Well, this is the thing that we talk about our academy products, and there never feels like there's a time that we put an academy player in and he's not ready. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Not anymore.
And it goes back to the work under. Obviously, Matty Peake's been the reserve coach for a long time, and Sean Wayne did his spell as the reserve coach, and all the players that have gone beforehand. But I remember when Maguire came in and talking about building an infrastructure, and this a lot of credit goes to Ian Lenigan of building an infrastructure that everyone plays the same way, and you know how to play that way, and you know what your job is. So when you're a junior in December and you come in and play in the first team, you know what your fundamental job is, what lines to run. It's not like you get to the first team and suddenly we want you to do this differently or we want you to do this. Your job's always been the same from when you join Wigan's Academy at 14, 15, 16, however young. If you're playing second row, this is the lines we want you running, this is how we want you to work. And it just makes that transition so much easier.
Yeah, I think so. I think the hardest thing probably with the academy coming in was when we didn't have reserve grade. Because especially in the forwards, the actual physical development side of it.
Yeah.
If you're an 18-year-old kid, you move out to the academy and you just wait and you get thrown in because of injuries. Defensively, it's a very big step up when you go from playing against other 18-year-old kids and suddenly you could have back in that day when there's no reserves, I don't know, you got to tackle JB Peacock. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's different gravy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Jamie Peacock's coming at you then. Jamie Jones Buchanan off next carry. Brett Delaney.
Yeah, when you so
Fourth tackle, you've got Lauer-Titi.
Fourth tackle, Lauer-Titi's correct. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So that's the problem. But yeah, I think you are right though.
Leeds side was so stacked in the forwards. It wasn't fair that.
I don't know why it was just Peacock who comes to me, but yeah, and I think you do it right. Yeah, tactically as well, if you can get everyone on the same, and that's I think what Wigan said. I know we talked about last year. We had our actual when ones played two. I think Matty, you said this last season, or Pete made a comment when you was reiterating it that actually the ones and twos it would be Smith and French, but up against Custon Hampshire.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like two, in their own right, Super League, standard halfback.
Yeah.
So it's the strength in depth. And
Definitely.
Good as well. Obviously, Cust has moved on, and he'd been starting quite well.
Had a really good start at Salford.
Yeah, shame he's missing the game. We'll talk about it in a bit. He's missing the game against us on Thursday, but yeah, he's had a really nice start. I'm rooting for Cade Cust. I think he carried himself so well. Other players, if they got dropped like him, they wouldn't have even thought about playing for the reserves. But he was giving it his all every week.
Well, that's that culture that Matty Peake's talked about, and we've worked on for the last 3-4 years under Pete, especially of team first. Everyone's in it together, and you've got to win your spots. And there'll be an element of Hampshire. Ryan Hampshire, for example, will have a conversation this week that he didn't do anything wrong.
No.
It's not a shoe-in that Smith and French get back in. I know they were rested, but he'll be wanting to play every week. Eckersley will want to play. I remember Jake Wardle came out before the season and said he was really impressed with him, and he's not there as a backup to himself and Kieran. He's there trying to get a spot.
Yeah, I think when we let Ian Thornley leave without replacement, it was a big
worry.
No. Well,
it was a worry from fans. I mean,
it was a bit of a worry from the fans, but I think internally it was a vote of confidence in Eckersley and Douglas to play that role, because obviously Eckersley is built sort of similar role to Thornley now, where he can play centre and wing. He can play a bit of full back. He's obviously a lot quicker. So yeah, I think when we let Thornley go, and everyone was thinking, a bit light in the outside backs, maybe this is the man.
Definitely. I was really impressed with him. He came out of yardage really well. I think a couple of times he is naturally a centre. He just caught a little bit infield, and Lee Kershaw is a very good winger in his own right, so there's no credit to concede a couple of tries to him. I think just defensively he got caught a little bit narrow, but that'll have something to work on, and he'll be given that task of working on his defence as a winger, because he is naturally a centre. But you got to remember, this is the guy that dominated Thingy in the reserve grand final.
Conrad Hurrell and T. Ritson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eckersley and Douglas as a partnership went up against Hurrell and Ritson and just had them on toast. Gobbled them up.
But yeah, just to say that obviously his stats will be a little bit emphasised from the carry that he made, where he went length of the field to score.
80-metre try.
But he made 9 carries for 158 metres at an average of 18. If you want to knock the 60 off, he's made 8 carries at 100 metres, roughly.
Not bad.
Really good effort. And that again is just reiterated through. Mago, 20 carries for 116 metres. Dupree, 15 for 114. Thompson, 14 for 130 metres. We're doing all that hard work. Farrell and Ice are doing the defensive work again, being steady with the ball in hand, and our outside backs all making 80 metres plus. It's like we've got that game plan set up now that our wingers, centres, make them early carries. Thompson, Dupree, Mago, Hill, Chan.
It's the Wigan way, isn't it? To be corny and say the name of the podcast, it's the Wigan ways to have you.
Smith plug my Smith.
Your outside backs, cat in the egg.
Matty, you know you're not meant to plug it.
No, I know.
I'm sure that we're on.
If you're listening to this, you don't need a plug, but I'm saying that's how we play rugby. It's how we've played rugby for a few years now. You outside backs cart the egg in yardage, and then spread it wide when you get a chance down the end of the field.
Definitely. The guy who also made his debut. Sorry,
That was
I get shouted
Australian
again.
school again.
I got shouted at that. I got shouted for that last time. Jack Farmond. What did we all think of him?
Tidy.
I was really impressed. I think sometimes you can get overawed, and especially when you go to. He makes his debut playing London. There's an element of we have to go and win, and you have to get points. And
good point.
I was a little bit worried that he might just go and overplay his hand and try and create everything and almost try and overshow what he can do because of that pressure of making your first game and making a name for yourself. But I don't think he did. I thought he was very good defensively. He made his tackles.
Yeah.
Made
that one tackle on that bloke that scored, but I don't think he.
I thought he might have held him up, but I didn't get a good angle of it.
Yeah.
I think he's got no one better to kind of guard him in Harry Smith, because obviously Harry Smith got chucked into the starting team probably earlier than Wigan and himself would have wanted as a young kid when we had injury crisis, and Harry Smith probably got burnt out of it when he played. So I don't think there's anyone better who can kind of take him maybe to one side before that game and just say, listen, like you're saying there, Tom, don't overplay your hand, stick to the basics, make your tackles, make sure your passes are nice and kick well. And if you do that, we win this game. And I think because Harry Smith's been in a similar position, obviously. Farriman's 18, Harry Smith going to the team. I don't know if he was 8, but very, very young.
Probably was about that, yeah.
Probably, yeah. So, he's got all the experience to kind of help him and guide him. And so, best of luck to him.
I want to talk a little bit about Tom Forber. He's gone a bit under the radar because he technically has played for the club before. I know Eckersley has played for the club before once.
One game, didn't he play the Hull KR game?
Which is the one Forber played. But they obviously think a lot of Forber. We spoke about him last week. I'm just pleased that Matty Pete's trusting these young lads. I don't want this to be, all against Adrian Lamb. And he obviously has gone on to do successful things at Lee. But there was a time when we had Bevan French injured and Jay Field injured.
We put Hastings at full-back.
And we put Hastings at full-back. It might have been Hardick, it might have been injured or suspended or somebody. Anyway, maybe French was a winger or Field was a winger. I can't remember. We had our first two full-backs out.
Luai and Cust played in the half. Not Cust.
No, under Cust. And they had... It would have been Smith, I bet. But we had 3 full-backs. We had O'Mara Hanley as third full-back. And he didn't pick him. He moved Hastings to full-back. Yeah. And he put somebody else in for Hastings. And and then somebody else had to come on the bench then. I think Luai might have played. And, somebody else had to come on the bench. And that, for me, was just like... you're not trusting the youth, and that was where I thought he's not trusting the youth so much. Now he did do great things with some of our young forwards, and obviously with Harry Smith, giving Harry Smith a chance. But I just thought then, if you've got a young lad as third choice, and your first two are injured, use him. We've lost Lehman obviously for a few weeks. They reckon he might be back for this cup game coming up next week. But use Forber if he's your third choice hooker. Use him.
If you're picking him,
Bring him in.
For me, if you're giving him a squad number, you're giving him a squad number.
You have to be confident if you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit unlike maybe Hull FC that we mentioned that give out a lot of squad numbers
40
this year.
numbers, yeah.
And then went and got Bullock and Matty Russell on loan.
Yeah, and they're looking for somebody else now because Russell's injured.
Bullock's gone back to Warrington. It sort of leaves you in a position where, do you trust that player? You give him a number, but you're there to play.
Matt Pete trusts all 32. Has he given numbers to? 32, I think.
It was 30 at the start of the season. They might have given another 2 out now. But that's just it for me. There's that level of trust. Everyone's there on merit. And Farriman, for example, his job now is to get another game, work hard enough and try and get above Hampshire in the pecking order. Forber, his job is to get into that, take this chance that he's got now. It would have been very easy to just maybe keep a Joe Shorrocks who could do a job there and
playing really well at the minute. Joe Shorrocks playing really well. 13.
It would have been the easy option to ask Brad to do 80 minutes.
That was the easy option. That's kind of what I was hinting at.
And we backed our guy. We backed on Forber. Fair enough. He's had the games to do it in terms of Huddersfield and London.
But I bet he picks him for Salford.
Yeah, he picks him for Salford. Sheffield in the cup after that.
Might be where we see Brad get a rest, but we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. It would be very, very brave. It would be the safe thing to do to ask Brad to do 70, 80 minutes.
Yeah.
And just shove someone in there for 5 minutes who's a first teamer to just play in there.
Paddy Mago, he can do it all.
Yeah, he can do it all. Man of steel. But Matty Pete makes the brave choices, and we've seen the benefits of that. It's a brilliant situation to be in now. And if you think coming into, let's say we get through Easter and whatever happens, we pick up another injury, I'm not going to be concerned about Tom Forber playing.
No.
Because he's already played.
No, me either.
If one of them nines picked up a bad injury and was out for 10 weeks, most clubs would be shocked. What do we do? Who do we put in there? Can we go and get someone on loan? Look at again, I know we're talking about Lee there, but obviously if Pape gets injured,
They have to bring in Brad Dwyer.
and you have to go and get Brad on loan. We don't have to do that if we pick up an injury.
Well, it's a good move for the league, but
It's a good move for Lee.
we wouldn't necessarily have to do
We
that.
wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
What if there's not someone available?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're not panicking for like
Yeah.
2-week loans or whatever for trying to get out of a position. Yeah.
And that's where I think the main point stands, that we back our squad, we back our academy products.
And that's what's good about being able to, do the squad rotation. And yeah, it was the right time to do it at London because no disrespect to them, but we know they're not the strongest team. So like you say, now if an injury does happen where, God forbid, French or Smith gets injured, Hampshire's going to come in, or Farriman or whatever, they've played a game, now they've got a game under the belt, and it's good, isn't it? Yeah, the more minutes they play, and they can get onto the pitch, and you don't want to be rotated with someone who's not played a game all season, do you? So the more people you can get on the pitch playing, within reason, you don't want to be changing your squad every week. But do you get what I mean? You've got to find the balance, and if we can find the right balance, then it's good.
Right, should we just have a quick mention of the try scorers? Miskey, Harvey Hill got 2, Ryan Hampshire, Eckersley, Mago, Brad O'Neill, Jake Wardle and Tyler Dupree all bagging a try.
Yeah.
2 for Harvey Hill, did I say? I can't remember if I said.
Yeah.
Adam Kieran kicking 10 from 10. But,
no, 10 from 11.
10 from 11, sorry.
He did have one penalty shot.
It's not good enough, really, is it?
Well, something that's not necessarily good enough. Field, still not to get a try, yeah?
Well, Field could have had a try and passed it to Kieran because he went, after kicking 10 goals, you can at least get a try.
He deserved a try after kicking
last
all
one
the
at
goals.
game. You know what? There you go, Kieran.
Was that your favourite try? Do you reckon, Lewis? I like the build up to that one.
I like that you see. Sorry, I'm going to. No, I feel bad. I'm going to steal.
No,
your
you
thunder.
steal my favourite
go on,
try.
You tell your favourite try, Matt.
Well,
you did make a good point.
The favourite try's got to be Mago offload, Chan offload, Big Harvey.
3 forwards.
The 3
combined.
forwards, yeah, it's got to be that.
3 ball playing.
Although I
forwards.
do think that Kieran try was fun because we had a nice little inside ball on halfway there.
Yeah, it sort of reminded me of try. I might be wrong here, but wasn't it at Saints about a year, 2 years ago, where I think it was Luluai dropped Field back on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and he
think
rounded Wellsby.
He played outside about 3 times, I think, and then caught him out when he played back inside and Field managed to get him and scored.
It just very, very similar reminded me of that. I don't think he needed to offload. I do think he would have made it.
He definitely would, but
Yeah.
he got a bit ankle tapped and he was getting a bit stumbling. And he did regain his feet, but you never know who's behind you, do you? It's a safe option to pass it, like Isa in the World Cup Challenge.
Or maybe he just thinks try assists are better.
Well,
Yeah,
like,
maybe where he got a lot of tries, so I'm going to get a lot of try assists.
Well, he had quite a lot of both last year. Maybe Lewis is right, and he thought Kieran deserved it after kicking all those goals.
Yeah. Talking about London, let's just talk about London for a little bit. First half, I was relatively impressed with them. I thought they put a good outing in. Did a lot of things right. A couple of times they give up ball that led to tries, and it punishes you at Super League. You make a mistake, and if you can't put that big defensive shift in. But I want to go on to the second half. I was really disappointed defensively.
We said last week they're going to miss loads of tackles late in games because they're not up to Super League fitness or Super League standard. There's no Super League experience outside of Kershaw and Walker, and they're both backs anyway. So there's no real engines in the forwards that are used to doing Super League games for 80 minutes. So they are going to ship a lot of points late on. They are going to miss a lot of tackles late on. The best chance of winning a game is going to be keep it close as long as you can or get a 10-point lead and just try and hang on and maybe, play to the conditions or something like that. That's their only chance. But they are going to...
66 missed tackles
Well,
in London. Wigan missed 23, which is poor by our standards, and that'll be Matty Pete's bugbear in there.
yeah.
In this situation, but 66 from London.
Well, you just can't miss 66 tackles, can you?
You're missing a tackle.
What's
like you said,
the,
though.
you've got a completion rate there.
Completion rate was 69%.
So
according
you
to
want
the Super League website.
You want to win games. What do you always say? Complete high, make your tackles.
It is a simple game. This, if you have the ball and you keep hold of it, and you don't miss tackles, you don't ship points, and you don't ship points. You only need a try to win.
I get what. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
If I was the coach, I wouldn't be going in giving him a spray.
No,
at full
it's
time.
London against
Sheds,
Wigan,
It's
innit?
London against Jai. I would just say, right, we know it's dirt. We work on it. We go again next week.
Definitely.
But I know what you mean.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm not going
you
in.
feel
and-
sorry for them, don't you? Because you do. Again, without trying to sound nasty, but they're just so far below the rest, aren't they? You maybe see them scraping a win against someone else. I don't know.
They're dragging fans in, which is good.
I just want
I want to be successful. I want to be the successful Southern team.
5,000 at the Catalan game.
Yeah.
4,000 for us.
Yeah.
Some good numbers from the capital.
We've seen a lot worse when we've had London in the past, haven't we?
This is what I really, really do hope. I know the IMG grading system and all that. Would you just give the capital a team?
I think they messed up that. I don't think London should have been that low down. I was reading that they'd only included Wimbledon in the score, and if they included London, they'd be a bit higher. I don't know. To me, it just feels like you can either do the promotion relegation thing, or you can choose the best teams. I'm not sure the spreadsheet is the way to go, but I do think that if it was the old licensing system, why would you not give one to London?
Yeah, I get what everyone says and what you say about the spreadsheet stuff. I just think look at the development that it's already brought in, and the effect it's already having on clubs. So look at Wakefield, look at what Cass are now doing. Hull KR have done a lot on the ground and now got. I really like what they're doing at the far end of the ground.
Craven Eat.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
yeah. But
Do you like the name?
no, no.
I knew you didn't.
No, just call it like the fan village or something. I don't know. But it's making teams do things. I've seen more on Twitter and on social media now from clubs than I've ever seen before. I think
Yeah.
because they know they have to get interactions, they have to get people involved, and I just think this is.
Leah's certainly doing the best with the getting the interactions on Twitter thing.
Yeah,
With all the calling out the ref.
Derek Ballmer once again. He's going to withdraw his money because it's an uninvestable product.
Let's talk about them later.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. But I just think it's doing the right thing at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point where there's 20 top teams that are all Grade A, that IMG suggests we go back to promotion relegation. I just think in the time being, there are probably 9 clubs, 8 clubs that are definitely should be Super League, and probably 10 that need a kick up the backside to improve and to.
I think I put 16 in a message to you, didn't I? The other
Yeah.
day. I thought of 16 that would be a good Super League top tier. 16 in Super League, 16 in Championship, 16 in League One.
But it's even in that 16 that you gave me, and we will go through it one day. At the moment in time that we've got, there's 8 that are clearly doing better on the field, doing better around the grounds and the stadiums.
It depends what you want to say, really, because you could say, like, obviously Hull FC, they're not an amazing team at the minute, but they are still a good club.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do still get fans through the door, and the stadium is impressive. So you would say, IMG wise, they're obviously a big draw. Plus, you've got the rivalry with Hull KR. You'd want to keep both of them in the top division. So you can say, yeah, maybe there's 8 teams, but you're looking at having Toulouse and Catalan in there definitely. I would anyway have Toulouse and Catalan in there for definite.
Just only because you made me think about it now. This about Catalan having to travel, pay for people to travel over.
Oh yeah.
That's a joke. I'm sorry, but it's an absolute joke.
Well, I don't know how it works in other sports.
I think explain this to the listeners who might not know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't fully understand it.
Well, when Catalan won the Challenge Cup a few years ago when they beat Warrington in the final, the RFL decided that they could make some money out of that, and that the French teams would have to pay a huge sum of money
to
enter the competition. And then, I mean an enormous sum of money. Like £500,000 sum of money.
Wasn't that so that it would cover the fees of people going there?
Yeah.
And if you draw a semi-pro team, then that helps them get there.
Even though it was way more than that would be required anyway. I would imagine that's been dropped because Catalan said they weren't going to enter, and they're in it now, aren't they? Catalan are in the cup again. So I'd imagine that's been dropped. However, now they've decided that from next year, I believe, they want Catalan Dragons to fund not only their own trips to England every other week, but also the English team's trips to them. So they would essentially be paying for the travel every single time.
In the Cup League?
No, in the league.
In the league, yeah, in the Super League.
So when Wigan travel to Catalan,
Wigan don't fund it, Catalan fund them going over.
Or Catalan have to offer to fund it, and have to have the money to fund it, which I don't think that happens in any other sport, does it?
could you imagine in the Champions League, someone say, oh, well, you go in playing in Spain and Real Madrid have got to play for City to travel. What a joke. Just, honestly.
Yeah, but then even if they did, if Real Madrid did pay for City to travel,
City would have to pay
City would have to pay for Real Madrid on the return leg, wouldn't
Yeah,
it? Wouldn't it be the same club paying both ways?
And I would like to think that the top clubs in this league, Wigan, Saints, Warrington, Leeds, to be fair, I'd like to think all of them do. But just say, nah, you don't have to pay us. You don't.
Well, they currently pay their own way, don't they? I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yeah, but who decides what's acceptable? What do Wigan want to do when they go and spend a week over there beforehand? It's a joke from the RFL.
That won't happen. I bet it doesn't happen.
It can't happen. It can't.
Yeah.
I bet it doesn't
I
happen.
don't know, okay, we've got a team bus going to Hull on a Thursday, you've got to pay for our coach. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. Right, going back onto Wigan, London. Anyone else want to say anything there?
No, I think it's good to get the win.
Good to get
Yeah.
the win.
Good to be top, isn't it? With the game in hand.
That's it, top, game in hand. A couple of people had some rest, a couple of kids getting a go. We got the 2 points and we're back and we're ready for Thursday. So
More importantly.
professional job, I would say.
Professional
down in
job.
the capital.
But more importantly, 3 Man of Steel points for Patrick Mago.
Paddy Mago.
Yeah.
I don't even think he got Wigan's Man of the Match, did he? I think they give it to Thompson on Sky.
Thompson
Yeah, I think
was really
Thompson
good.
got it.
Thompson was impressive.
We've kind of glossed over Thompson a bit because we spoke about him a lot last week, but he was really good again, wasn't he?
Yeah, and again, I think it was another 65 minutes. Getting minutes in his legs.
He's a good signing.
That was the concern, wasn't it, about him? I know we said we were going to move on then, but that was the concern about him, his injury record and the minutes that he played in Australia.
Yeah.
And he was unfortunate to pick up the HIA. Can't do anything about it.
Liam Burns' thigh, clocking in.
But the 2 games he's played, he's played 65 and 60 minutes, I think, something like that. I think really impressive from him, and I will see him in a Wigan shirt. He's a Wigan lad. This side of Billinge, might wind up a few Saints fans there, but you know what? He wants to play for Wigan, and
they don't care about Thompson. You know that.
Oh, I've seen the song.
They wrote a song about not caring. They wrote a song about not caring about Thompson.
It's like You're So Vain. Really winds me up, that.
Yeah.
Because he's not vain.
That's the point.
I'm not having it. Not having it. You're singing about Thompson. You care about him.
They wrote a song expressly denying this. There's no quicker way to make you think that you're obsessed with someone than writing a song about not being obsessed with them.
He's a great signing.
You can't wear not emotionally attached to Thompson or something.
I'm sure you can find it on Twitter.
Open brackets, I promise.
Close brackets.
But yeah, top of Super League. Only team not to lose. We played a game less than everyone. Great start to the season as world champs.
Rolling on world champs.
Right, we'll be back after this break and we'll talk about the rest of Super League. Thank you. So, we're going to have a look at the rest of Super League, round 4. Everyone else in Super League's now lost a game.
Correct.
It's nice not losing a game, innit? Just to remind anyone who's listening. Should we start on Thursday night, though, over in Hull? Warrington had to make the Thursday night trip to Hull. First of all, it's shocking.
Bad luck.
Can you make that Friday? If you're going to do it in a week, at least be a Friday.
Thursday night could have been Saints and Salford.
Yeah.
Or it could have been a closer 2 games.
But Warrington came out 22 points to 20 winners. They were winning at half-time 18-12. Tries for Warrington were Williams, Ashton, Toby King, Connor Wrench and Matt Dufty. Try scorers for Hull KR, Tyrone May, Ryan Hall, Ollie Gildart and Tom Opacek.
Yeah. Worth saying both these teams had goal-kicking issues.
Yes. Yeah. Warrington only kicked 1 of the 5. And Hull KR weren't much better, only kicking 2 from their 4. So it's a weird one. Hull KR, we'll talk on first. Should we talk about the goal kickers? Hull KR, first of all, got Jez Litton, who isn't always on the field.
He kicked 2 unbelievable kicks.
Then he wasn't on the
from
field
the
for the
touchline
next
and then
2,
got
was he?
subbed off, so someone else had to kick.
And Warrington's kicker's Steph Rashford. But he probably doesn't get in the side.
No, especially the way Connor Wrench is playing.
Connor Wrench is playing really, really well. Toby King, the other centre. You can't just get him in.
The interesting thing this time is, in the past we've seen Rashford used in the halves, and there was no Josh Drinkwater.
No, there's no Drinkwater.
But instead, they went for the young player, Leon Hayes, who I guess we'll talk about in a bit. So instead of going for Rashford and Williams as a half-back pair, they went for somebody different. I thought that was interesting.
I thought Hayes had a very, very good game.
Also did I. He's
was
tiny.
really-
Absolutely tiny. But he played really well.
And
My dad said he fed that scrum in and he disappeared. Ref couldn't see him over the top of the scrum.
it would just be interesting to see who could be a long-term kick option for them. Because Hull KR don't seem to have one. It's not Hiku. It's not Jez Litton because he's not the 80 minutes a
Willie
game.
Peters did say after the game, because I was watching the post-match interviews with Jenna, and she asked him, was the next step basically to try and get Jez Litton then playing for 80 minutes so he can be on the field to kick all the goals? And Willie Peters did say, yeah, that's the kind of like, hopefully where we're going with it. But then I feel like, I don't know, are you messing up your whole system then with him and Purcell just to kick goals, and was that leave Purcell?
Do you
it's
play
a bit of
Jez Litton
disruption,
in
isn't
the
it?
halves then?
The dynamic
But then
duo.
you're moving your spine around and
duo.
stuff, so it is a bit of it's a problem you'd rather not have, wouldn't it? But
Oh, you'd rather not have it, definitely. If Hiku could come in and kick goals like he was planning on.
Can we talk about Peter Hiku? because there was a change in this game.
He didn't get a bin, did he, this week?
No, I don't think he did. But there was a change. After half-time, they actually moved Evans to full-back,
Yeah.
Opacek onto the wing, and Hiku to right centre. I thought they looked far better.
Well, we said last week, didn't we, that we all thought Evans was a really good full-back, and
Yeah.
obviously,
I-
a bit...
They've signed a decent NRL centre and a good Super League fullback, and they're playing the fullback on the wing and the centre at fullback.
Yeah.
But
Seems
the centre was signed to play full-back.
Well, yeah, but it just seems a bit out of whack for me. I think Hiku in the centres looked a lot more stable, and obviously,
I will say I thought he was poor defensively.
Nah,
for Duffy's last try, he gave Duffy far too
it's
much
off a scrum
space.
though. It's off a scrum. He's got Ashton outside him or whoever it was. I'm not being too critical of him for that. I think Evalds at fullback worked. That's how I'd line up if I was Willie Peters next game. Same as the team that finished the game.
So you're playing Opacek on the wing?
Yeah, probably. Or Gilly. But didn't they have a third full? Didn't Ryan Hall end up at fullback for a bit of that game? I think he did. I think they ended up with 3 different fullbacks.
I think he just went there for a set, didn't he?
He might have done, I don't know.
Like defensive set. I don't know.
I would have Opacek or Gilly on the wings, depending on who was more comfortable out there.
This was the thing though. Gilly played left centre, and Opacek went right wing. Hiku right centre.
That was in game though. You never know.
Gilly's also looking really good with Hall.
He did,
It does look
I
like
thought
there's a
that
bit of a
partnership was really
partnership
good.
bringing
true.
Broom in there. So you're disrupting that.
Especially when you've got a specialist winger in your squad in Burgess.
Burgess, yeah.
But then
Burgess not gay, yeah.
But then you've got to drop one of Hiku, Opacek or Gildart.
Gilly.
And I think Gildart's a lock. And I would say Opacek's a lock.
You ended up thinking, right, well, do we drop Peter Hiku?
Could one of them play on the bench and give you an option? But you're already carrying Parcell on the bench as a 9 option.
I don't know.
Bench looks very small if you carry a centre.
Well, they used
Headache, innit?
Yeah, it's a headache.
Willie Peters.
When you actually think the one player that would come in and fix it would be Burgess, but then you have to drop Hiku probably.
Your big overseas signing after 4 games.
And obviously the Gildart and Burgess, they've got history as a partnership as well, haven't they?
Well, Burgess would have to play right wing because Ryan Hall's not moving off that left, is he?
I don't know.
What do we make of these two sides? I think obviously Warrington will be really happy. Sam Burgess will be really, really happy. That's a big win going to Hull KR. Last season's top 4, everyone predicted him to finish in top 4 again. That's a huge result.
Yeah.
Has your opinion changed on either of these two teams? I'll be honest, I'm a little bit 50-50 now on Hull KR. Just how I've seen them go through spells in games. I don't think they know the lineup.
I think Warrington are a really good side. And I think whenever you've got Williams and you've got Dufty in the side, them two...
You've got forwards like Paul Vaughan.
Yeah, with them two especially though, and I rate Danny Walker, but especially Williams and Dufty, you can create something with them two.
I called it have a strong season at the start. But yeah, I think time will tell, obviously, like with anything. But yeah, no, I think I do think Hull KR will feel very hard done to this game. They had chances to win it. Bachelor dropping the ball over the line obviously would be the main kind of example of that. They've lost the ball for scrum play, like you said there.
You said before it
in
was more
the
Hull
senses, yeah.
KR losing than Warrington particularly winning.
Yeah, and I do stand by that because I do think, I know sometimes people don't like you say because you say no, the better team won because they won, but sometimes I do think sometimes the best team loses.
Yeah, sometimes the best team does win.
So yeah, I would say so. I think they had the chances to win it. I think again, I know going back to those post-match interviews, Willie Peters kind of went into his lads and went, "I feel really sorry for you. I think you've been really unlucky.
Yeah,
I saw us winning this game."
But they're for me the games you have to win.
Oh, they are.
Especially
Yeah.
when
At
you
home.
slip up at Salford and lose 17-10 the week before.
At home you have to, but I mean that field looked awful. The
it did.
tractor park that did.
Especially for a team that want to play quick rugby.
But there was some sublime rugby played. The flick offload from Gildart to Hall, brilliant. The try for Toby King, brilliant work from Fitzgibbon.
The return Hall to Gilder.
Brilliant. I mean, the winning try was well worked.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Really good quality game.
There was a lot to like in this game.
Dufty's looking dangerous. I think for why I think
Yeah.
Burgess is probably one of his plans is to get Dufty a bit on the ball.
He was
more
my man of the
in
match.
space.
Duffy, my man of the match.
And he's quick. He's elusive, starts from the back of the scrum. I think he If he can get on the ball more, again, in space, with his hands on the ball, he could be a real good tool for Warrington.
I definitely think they've shown a lot, both teams going forward, that they can get points.
Yeah.
I think now they both need to show a little bit of defensive grit. Can they, not necessarily nil aside, but can they win a game?
Well, you'd be
14-6?
expecting Warrington to roll it on because they've got to play London next.
Yeah, I've tried not to look into London results for teams playing London because they are considerably weaker.
We looked into it for FC last week.
That's because they nearly lost.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what that was my point.
But you would expect Warrington to go there and win by a considerable margin.
Yeah.
They have to play someone of a similar ilk.
Like Hull KR?
But win. Can they win Can you win and not concede 20 points? I always think that's the margin. If you can keep a team below 20 marks...
They've done it. What they keep them to exactly 20 this time. They've beaten a team away from home at notoriously tough place to go with an even sort of performance, an even game, and they've missed a lot of goal kicks. It's worth mentioning.
That's what I mean, but if you kick them goals, it's 30 points to 24, 26.
If every goal went over, it'd be a one-try win, wouldn't it? Because they had one more try. So, yeah, I think there's lots to be positive about if you're a Warrington supporter.
So
far.
I'm just still
Their only
waiting
loss was
on
a
them.
close one in France.
Yeah.
I'm still just waiting on both of them defensively. They've both got points on show. Both of them have got players that can get plenty of points, and that is the big thing in this game. Can you get enough points? You look at the players they've got: Lewis, Williams. So I think of May, Dufty. There's plenty of players who'll get you points. Just can you show that defensive thing?
They've got
to the next level.
They've got strike, haven't they? Ashton took his try really well. Obviously, Ryan Hall.
I don't know. I think I might be a pessimist,
Think
but I
there's
just think defensively, I want to see that next level defensively.
Yeah, do you think there's maybe comparing these two teams, maybe the pressure's a bit different? Maybe people aren't expecting much of Warrington. It's Burgess' first season. He's got a season almost a bit like a bit of a get out of jail free season. People don't expect much. It's his first season as a kind of head coach at Warrington, whereas Hull KR have got the pressure of trying to go again and do better than last season.
Especially at home.
Especially at the start of the season, people judging them on the first couple of performances. Could there be a bit of different, headspace here, the two teams?
I do. I fully agree with you with Hull KR. They've got pressure off. No one's going there and going, oh, well, we should beat them, but they're a good side. If they beat us, it's all right. Yeah. Now they're a top four side.
Yeah.
Let's knock them off.
Let's knock them off. Everyone's going there thinking, we have to try and win. It's going to be tough. You're highlighting that game in the calendar. I'm going to disagree with you slightly on Warrington. Do you think there's not pressure on them? Because I think there is.
Well, maybe, but there's maybe
they've got a superstar squad.
Yeah.
They've got some quality players. They've gone and spent money again. They've gone and brought Sam Powell in. They've gone and brought Fitzgibbon in. Matty Nicholson's improved.
Depends what sort of pressure you're talking about, because you can say they've got an expensive and well put together and superstar squad, but then
if this side was 8th, 9th, 10th.
Oh yeah, definitely. There would
be pressure.
They need to be.
So for me, there is pressure there. He has to get top 6.
Well, he has to get comfortably top 6. Yeah.
If he doesn't get that, then questions start.
He has to be more like what Hull KR and Lee were. Maybe Hull KR than they were last year, where they just snuck in.
Yeah.
We spent a long time on that game.
Definitely. Right, next up, my favourite game of the week. St Helens Salford.
It was my second favourite. I really liked that Hull KR and Warrington game. I thought it was really interesting.
I just like saying.
I know, but I thought it was really interesting, that Hull KR Warrington game.
20 points to 24. Salford get the win. 2 tries for Lewis Dodd, Percival and Wellesby.
Yeah.
For Salford, Dion Cross got 2, Chris Atkin got 1, and Denny McDonald. 4 tries apiece.
Yeah.
And the game come down to goal kicking. Sneer kicking 4.
Yeah, if the game comes down to goal kicking and one of the goal kickers is Mark Sneed,
you're in trouble.
Fair bet on which one's going to win.
Yeah. Lewis Dodd and Mark Percival kicking the goals for Saints.
Yeah, one of Dodd's tries was really nice, where he coming off the offload from Matautia.
Yeah.
I really like that try. And then the winning try I thought was really nice as well, with the hit and spin from Lafay to flick it out to Cross.
Yeah.
Thought that was a really nice try.
I've got a thing with Saints at the moment. another change to the back five. Hurrell was out the squad. Blake, Purcell were the centres and Benison back on the wing. Obviously, Purcell's picked up, is it a 2-game ban?
Well, I think that's the strongest back five.
I do, but now Purcell's obviously, it's the fourth different one.
Yeah.
Or fourth change, should I say. And now they're going to lose Percival. Hurrell's going to have to play. It's going to be another reshuffle. Do you think he knows his strongest back five?
But I think that's it.
I agree, but
What he played this game.
I don't know if he knows that. I don't. Or maybe they see something in training that we don't see, and we think it's.
Well, whether it's Blake or it's Hurrell, you look like you can get at them defensively.
The Saints fans don't seem made up on Benison.
No.
They really don't.
True.
Well, Percival, should we mention him? Red card in the just after half time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
head contact.
Yeah, he didn't really wrap his arms either.
No.
I don't think you can be too bothered about it being a red card, can you?
No.
It's a shoulder to the head, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
His
think it's
shoulder,
been a red
wasn't
card for a while.
This has been my argument, and I've argued with a couple of people on Twitter, and I said I shouldn't, but it happens. You just have to wrap your arms. If you put an effort in to wrap your arms,
He'd give him a yellow card.
you're instantly dropping it from red to yellow.
Yeah, true.
If you don't wrap or show a clear effort to wrap,
You're giving the ref a reason to send you off type thing, yeah.
And the tweet from St Helens after it was like, Almonroyd spills the ball and Percival hits him and somehow it's a red card. And I was like, well, not really. Just because he's dropped the ball doesn't mean you can just go around and smack him in the head because he dropped it. That's not a punishment for dropping the ball, is it?
Yeah.
this is the thing for me. I think, and this is my opinion. The Reds are, the refs are looking that it's a red. Contact to the head is a red. What brings it down?
That's exactly right.
No, I think that's what they are doing because they keep mentioning mitigation, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's what they'll do now. They
The
explain
moment
to
you
the
wrap
players.
your arms, you've got mitigation. A player slips, there's mitigation
Yeah.
to bring it down.
I think that's
Everyone
it.
knows
There is no mitigation and it's direct contact to the head. That is a red card offence and mitigation will
Probably
lessen.
should be.
Yeah,
You can't just go hitting people in the head. Obviously, the ones we've complained about is when there's mitigation.
yeah.
If there's no mitigation, you just clouted someone in the head with a swinging arm. It should be a red.
But this is it for me again. You've never been allowed to hit players around the head.
No.
You've never been able to hit a player around the head and just get away with it. You've always been penalised for it.
Game-
They've now just upped.
Game's gone,
The
though.
punishment.
Game's gone.
They've just upped the punishment.
Because it's a red card for a swinging arm with no... Well, it's not even a swinging arm, was it? It was a shoulder to the head,
Yeah.
which has been a red card since Sonny Bill Williams joined Super League.
But weird one. Do you think everyone said it about the shoulder charge? That's gone. It's not really effective. Do you miss the shoulder charge really?
Well,
It's made the game safer.
Jack Almonroyd doesn't miss the shoulder charge.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
can't hit with one.
But the game's safer for it, and I don't think anyone misses it. It took 6 months, and now people don't do it. It's not a thing that's done anymore.
No.
It's just going to take time, and the better teams are learning it quicker. Is my ultimate opinion.
Yeah.
The quicker you learn to them rules, the less people you're going to have sent off or sin-binned, the easier it is to win these games.
And there's only 2 bans this week, so they are clearly scaling that back and coming to a more reasonable level
Yeah.
where you've not got half your salary cap sitting in the stands for rival round or whatever. No one's banned for rival round so far.
Sorry, I'm about to extend this segment by asking this question, but I saw something last week and I was going to bring it up on last week's podcast episode, and I didn't because I forgot. But whilst we're talking about the disciplinary, there was a tweet from a player, was it Oliver Holmes maybe, or someone? I can't remember, where he basically just said something on the lines of, like, obviously, as we know that the punishments were being dished out quite a bit with the bans, and it always followed with a fine, a 250 quid fine or whatever. And there was a point just saying, like, you know, rugby players, we've got bills, we've got mortgages, keep on hitting us with 250 quid fines, like, when we're, you know, trying to do our job, you know. And it was making a point about the fining, basically, saying it's the fines are a bit out of order. Like, I think the tweet was something like, yeah, another 250 quid fine, not like I've got a mortgage to pay or anything, you know, something like
Yeah.
that. So,
Or
Well, if-
just don't hit someone round the head.
No, but they're giving fines for all sorts. It's not just hitting people around the head. That deserves a fine. For all sorts. It feels like there's obviously a number that you have to fine somebody if they get a yellow or a red card. You have to. They're doing every sport because it's trying to discourage it.
They do it at amateur level.
Yeah, but £250 is steep if you do it every time. and they're getting a lot of money from that because they're giving lots of people £250 fines. They didn't this week. They only give 4 fines this week.
Yeah.
They still brought in £1,000.
Yeah.
And then that's a lot more than admin fee for processing the ban, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I do just think, the players
Thompson got a £250. Luke Thompson. Don't know what he did. Grade B, something.
But the more you find yourself in front of this disciplinary, the more you're going to get fined.
Yeah.
Well, if you get put in front of a disciplinary at work, you're going to get suspended. You don't get paid.
Mm.
It's not like we're suspending people and then you don't get paid for a week. Like, if you're suspended for a game, you don't get your week's wage. Like,
Wages are an interesting one in rugby. What happens with these loan players? Because Hull FC will have brought in a few loan players, and there's other clubs brought in loan players as well. But what happens with that on your salary cap?
I think for a season-long loan, I think that's the simple side of it. It's these 2 week ones that I don't understand.
How does that affect your salary cap? I don't know.
It must do.
Well, yeah, you'd imagine so. It's not just going to be the loaning
Unless
club.
you both agree to a figure. I don't know. Should we move on? Lee versus Leeds. 16-0 at half-time to Lee. Leeds win 22-16. I think this shows the good and the bad of both sides. I think Leeds looked poor in the first half and then showed what they can do in the second half, where they can play off the cuff rugby and put points on.
A lot of this might have been down to Lachlan Lamb limping off. It looked a bad one, although I don't think it's quite as bad as
I think he's in the squad this week, isn't
they
he?
feared. I think it wasn't that bad, but it looked horrible when he was walking off. Well, he wasn't really walking, was he? He was getting carried off.
When Lee were firing that first half, their attack looked mint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their attack looked amazing. Bodies in motion. I always talked about this last year with
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Sydney, but bodies in motion, people running lines, and not just running lines like at 70% that you sometimes expect when there's a ball passing. People sprinting 100% and still being able to catch pass with really good skill. Like it looked really good.
It's one of them.
It reminded me a bit of Castleford Tigers 2017
Yeah.
when they went to like the league. Their attack just looked so good. Loads of bodies, loads of lines being run, bodies in motion, just undefendable at times.
Well, I've had a look at what Lee train on, and it's really, really top grade artificial turf. So they're going to be looking for summer, thinking these hard grounds,
Yeah.
that it's going to suit them. I mean, it suits Wigan as well, but it's going to suit them. Not like some of the grounds we've been having at the minute
Yeah.
that wouldn't suit them. You know what I mean?
I was a little bit worried for Lee that they can have such a change in the way that they played one half to another. First half, I thought they were really, really good, and I was impressed. And I thought this is the Lee that played last year. Second half, I thought they were really poor.
If Leeds turn it on, though, there's not many teams who can go with them.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah,
They're a strong side, Leeds. They've obviously spent a lot of money on that side. They're a strong side. I thought Frawley was decent in the second half.
yeah.
I just think if Leeds go, you'll struggle to stick with them.
Yeah.
I don't-
Do you think Lee will think it as one? Well,
Lee-
one that
Lee-
got away if
Lee
there's
shouldn't be
16
16-0 up.
and then lose.
Oh.
Well, they
lose that
took
game
they
for
took
me.
2 points, didn't they, with 14-0?
Mm.
If they could have just had another, few sets on the line there, they maybe could have got a score.
Yeah.
Even if you then get another penalty and then take the 2. I don't like going 14-16.
Yeah.
But if you could get another try, obviously that would have killed the game off then. So maybe a little bit too conservative with that. There was a yellow card, wasn't there? Was a yellow card for Lee
Yes. I can't remember who it was.
because
now.
of Gannon.
Might have been.
Oh, not Gannon. Sorry.
I can't remember. But I just think for me, you can't get off to such a good start.
Well, Frankie Holton. Was him? You get a yellow card in Frankie Holton?
It might have been. I just don't think you can get to 16-0 and then ship 22 points. It's too big of a swing that, and Lee should be disappointed. They should have won that game.
Yeah. A big win for Leeds though, because obviously they're going to
Yeah.
be fighting with Lee for a top 6 spot.
Yeah.
So if it beat your rivals, we're going to try and probably sneak into that 5th, 6th spot.
I forgot to say
They're
in
competing with them, aren't they?
the Salford game, Sam Stone was fantastic, 40 tackles and a really good effort. But I thought Reece Martin in this game again was impressive.
I think for Reece Martin,
He's unbelievable.
I know.
He's so good.
yeah.
Honestly, he was great again today. If the Dolphins get Reece Martin,
It's a great acquisition.
It's a great sign because he still got it.
Yeah. Right, shall we move over to the third game that was played on Friday? Cass versus Huddersfield. 50 points to 8. Huddersfield win. Just go through the try scores quickly. Senior got 2 and they didn't kick a goal. Kevin Nguama, Leroy Cudjoe getting 2. Reinvented himself as a ball-playing 13.
Well, he scored one of them at centre. He can just do everything.
Yep.
Clearly.
Sam Halsall got a double, Aaron Swift got a double, Sam Hewitt and Adam Clune. Ollie Russell kicked 7 from 10.
Yeah.
Cass.
This game, with about 15 minutes left, was relatively close. And the commentator said when Huddersfield scored, that'll be the game. Well, it was like you had to take it to 30 points to 8 or something. That'll be the game wrapped up. It don't have to have even been to get to 24, actually. That'll be the game wrapped up. I think it was Farge's try. And then they went to score another 20 points.
Yeah.
With the last 5 minutes, they scored 2 tries. Easy.
57% Castleford completed that.
The worst try...
No wonder they got battered.
The worst try, for a Castleford point of view, and this will be they'll be absolutely fuming with this, the supporters. When Swift scores his second try, Castleford make an error inside Huddersfield's 20. They knock on.
Yeah.
No one reacts at all.
Oh, I know which one you're
Lola
talking
here
about.
picks up the ball, still no one reacts. He passes it to Swift, no one reacts, and obviously Swift's going to win the foot race to the line. How can you not even fall on your own mistakes?
Yeah.
It is
Cover
it
your
is
own.
Basic.
It's basic. That you
Play
teach
to
that
the
to under
whistle.
sevens, under eights. If you knock on, fall on it.
Just
It's terrible. That just lack of effort for me. It's just lazy.
Yeah, it is.
19 errors.
Was it Kyle Amo talking about the forwards? He's saying, "Oh well, Nemo doesn't do many minutes, and such a body doesn't do many minutes, and so these are all tired bodies." Well, yeah, but that's the job of your coaching staff
Yeah.
to not have that happen. And if you've got 2 forwards that can't play 25, 30 minutes in a game,
You have carry 4 on bench.
well, exactly, yeah, exactly.
Well, let's just have a look at their side.
Amo
In the forwards.
was right, but it shouldn't have got to that point,
Yeah.
really, should it?
The back 5 was pretty settled. Hooley, Sim, Mellor, Wood and Senior. Rowan Mills and Jacob Miller were in the halves. Danny Richardson's obviously, did he fail his HIA? George Lawler, Liam Horn, Namo, Lewis Johnson, Tazzy Powell and Joe Westerman. Bench was Broadbent, Sam Hall, Nixon Putt and Albert Vette.
Broadbent and Sam Hall.
Yep. 2 outside backs. Nixon Putt and Albert Vette.
Really?
They are
No,
not...
that's not an outside back, Sam Hall, is it? You think of Sam Wood?
Sam Wood played. So is Sam
Yeah,
Hall a
Sam
second
Hall's
row?
a second row, he's a
Sorry,
second
sorry. But them forwards, they are not big minute forwards.
Vete, Nemo, and who was the starting number 8?
George Lawler,
No, he can do some minutes. George
Nixon
Lawler's a bit
Putt,
fair, but-
Albert Vette,
Yeah.
Namo. They are not big minute
No, they're
players.
not.
No.
And you look at what... I don't want to compare them to Wigan. Because I could compare every team to Wigan because that's the team I watch the most.
Well, compare him to Huddersfield.
What I was getting at is we've got Mago that doesn't do the minutes of the others. He doesn't do the same amount of minutes.
No.
But we're carrying Dupree. We play Cade Ellis at 13, who effectively could play prop if needed. Luke Thompson does big minutes.
Castleford need
Liam Burke
a.
can do big minutes.
They need a Chris Hill type, don't they?
Yeah. A 50-minute player. You compare to the
Well,
pros.
like
Solid.
you said,
Solid.
Matt, that's the job of your coach and recruitment staff
Yeah.
to build that squad. Don't go signing and making sure your squad is only full of 20-minute impact players because it's not going to go well, is it? You've got to balance that.
Compare this to the side of Huddersfield. Connor, Swift, Masters, Nguama, Hall. First of all, I think Swift to Hall, Masters and Nguama make far more metres than the back 5 of
Sam Hall saw that as on the wing.
Sam Hall saw on the wing. Clune and Ollie Russell. And you go into the forwards, Chris Hill, Ash Goulding at 9, Ikehefo, Jack Murky, Sam Hewitt and Cudjoe. Off the bench, they've got Tuilola here played on the bench, Luke Yates, Hugo Sleepy, Oliver Wilson. There's 3 big bodies there.
We know about this Thomas Deakin. Is he injured?
I think he was injured. I think he signed injured, didn't he?
He might have done. He's a 9 for them.
But I just think,
Milner was banned, wasn't he, for what he did against Dupree?
yeah, I just think that side
It's a stronger side than Castleford's,
is
but
far stronger.
but even so, it shouldn't be 50 points to 8 stronger.
No.
And look at the last few tries, the ones where Amo said it was tired defence. It's shocking defence, really.
It's
and
not good enough.
Where Lola here is through, and for some reason he passes it to Nguama, even though he was over the line. That was a weird one. There's some weird passes today where players were already going to score and passed it.
One of the tries was a bit weird for that I was watching the sense of. It was a nice shift play from left to right from Huddersfield. I think it was on one of Holsall's tries.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
But they didn't, like, they went through
It was
hands.
off the scrum?
No, it was off, I think, sure it was off a play of the ball.
Was
But
it?
they went through hands, but only where you've got, like, lead runners running through the line and playing out the back. They didn't just play out the back. It was literally the players were just in a line. And they just passed it without any lead runners, and he managed to go over in the corner.
So there was no deception. There was no.
Yeah, there was no like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
running through. It was just like this, like pass, not going out the back. Just literally pass it down the line, and
And
Holsall went in on.
And they still let him in.
And it was like, well, it did actually look like he got a tap, but it was just weird in the sense that because it weren't normally if you have people running through and go out the back, you might only have 3 or 4 passes before the winger goes over. Whereas they had like 6.
Did they have a
And
yellow?
it was just because they went boom, 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 and just kept on going. It was
Gas.
Let me just check. I don't think so. I don't think
They
there was
might-
any
they
cards in
might-
this game.
There was a scrum try where they messed it up and
Yeah,
still
no
scored.
cards in this game.
So Halsall, when he scored off the scrum, that's what I thought you were talking about. They messed it up
right.
and they still scored.
Yeah.
They loaded everybody up on one side on the scrum, messed up the pass from the base, and they still couldn't stop Clune from finding the right pass.
Yeah.
I know we've got one more game to talk about, but I'm just going to ask you something, and this is possibly jumping into predictions, but it's a while off. I'm already looking forward at round 9, and this has Cass Wakey vibes of last year.
Was it Cass against London?
It's Cass against London.
Well, you
'Cause
can't.
I can't see them beating anyone else.
If you're going to stay up in this division, how many wins do you need this year? Last year it
Maybe
was
3.
Last year you needed 10 points, or roughly about 10 points. A few years ago you needed 20. London went down with 20 points. I know I keep saying that, but London went down with 20 points once. If you get
How many wins are London going to win?
if you get 6 points, are you safe? Like, are Salford safe
Yeah.
if they don't win another game?
Yeah.
But if Salford don't win another game, well, I suppose
They could not finish bottom.
Cass could still finish bottom because one of them would be against Cass. It's interesting, isn't it? I think you probably need 8 points this year.
Cass and London. London have already missed out a big chance not winning to Hull last week. Can you see either of them winning 5 games? Cass might beat London twice. Who's going to beat the next 3?
Yeah.
You'll catch somebody a week after a cup final or something like that. They always do.
If you get lucky and you're drawn against them,
They always.
you
someone-
might play a cup final and Wigan didn't lose when they played cup final.
Yeah.
Lee after the cup semi had to play us, so it's not like
Yeah.
you get guaranteed to drop on someone that you should definitely beat.
Yeah, true.
That could be a who finishes bottom decider. Imagine if London had beat Hull last week.
Yeah.
Honestly,
If London had beat Hull last week, there'd be a lot more worried people in Cass Vegas.
Should we talk about Hull though? They travelled over to Catalans.
Yeah.
26 points to 12. They lose. Tom Davis, Arthur Morg, Laguerre, and Nguama, sorry. Jedi Nicarima scored.
Yeah, Ligueur's try was nice.
Yeah.
Check that one out if you can.
But I'm actually going to say this was a far improved performance from Hull.
This is weird because last week we slated Hull and they won. This week they've lost and we're saying actually they weren't that bad.
Yeah, because they concede after 40 seconds. I think I made a joke that this could be 50. And
They did alright.
they came back in and they worked hard. I think they completed better. If you actually look at the completion, they completed at 84% compared to Huddersfield, compared to Catalan's 78%. They made less errors. I think it was just an all-round general improvement. Obviously, Hull had a yellow card, which was a killer. The discipline let them down there.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that was
like
the
down the
person who
most
got
game.
banned, wasn't it, that Ashworth? Was
Yeah.
it the
Yeah.
one who's got banned?
It was a head on head, and it was what they call initial contact. So the bloke runs it in. There's no bouncing around. There's no third man in or anything like that. It's just
Not
straight
slipping.
away head on head. You as a defender, you've got an obligation to get your head out the way.
Yeah.
And he got 2 matches
Yeah.
because he got a downgrade. So he'll be back for rival round.
Interesting move here for Catalans. They moved Nicarima to fullback to start this game. Nicarima's been playing as the bench 9.
Yeah.
We talked about he was signed as the 6 to work with Faj before Abdul became available.
Yeah.
You'll obviously look at the squad numbers. They were announced and he was the number 6. But this game they played him at full back and dropped Morg to the bench, who had been the goal kicker.
Yeah.
Jordan Abdul had to kick the goals until Nicarima went off injured. I still don't think Steve McNamara knows his best team here.
Well, we said it might be a big year for Morg, and he did score a nice try, and he set one up, I think.
I thought he was a lock-in for that full-back position at the start of the season.
It's unusual. I think what they're trying to do is they know they've got a really talented player in Nicarima. They've just got to try and squeeze him in somewhere.
Especially what you consider McAloram's now back. And I think DaCosta's a very good bench 9.
He's a solid bench 9, isn't he?
So you don't play him, you can't carry him and either Nicarima or...
I don't know,
Morgan
maybe you
for
can.
bench
Maybe you can.
with 2 of them.
Segia plays the whole game. Who else?
Meekin can.
Meekin can play pretty much the whole game.
Garcia plays 60 minutes.
Garcia can play the whole game. So actually, maybe he can. I don't know. Maybe you just have
It's just
2
how you
props
get
on the
them on the
bench.
field at the same time. I don't see a way of getting them all on there.
No, you'd have to bring off Abdul or
Faj.
Faj or McAlorum.
And you're messing around with your spine then.
Yeah, so I
Bit
don't
the
know.
Huddersfield problem from last year.
Yeah,
isn't
it is,
They had
yeah.
Connor, Price, Lawler here.
I think we said it last week.
And Ollie Russell.
The Abdul situation of...
He was
He
just
become-
available.
He
Yeah.
becomes available
Yeah.
when you sign him, but then actually it sort of messes your plans up because you then want to play him. But where do you play him? How do you get him on it?
As long as they keep winning,
Yeah.
it won't be a problem.
It only becomes a problem when you fail.
When you lose and it looks ugly, then it's a problem.
Yeah. Right. That wraps up Super League. Just to... I feel like it's a nice thing to do. Recap the league. We're going to top. The rest doesn't really matter.
We don't normally do that.
I know. It's just nice to say. Oh, but we've played one last game as well. Just
Top
Yeah.
of the game in hand.
Top with the game in hand. Yeah. Going into some tough fixtures.
yeah. See, this is
Salford away, Saints away, Lee away are next 3. Well, if you don't include the cup.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Well, to be fair, that we can do that in the predictions and the pre-match review actually. So that wraps up Super League.
Yeah.
We'll be back shortly to review next week's games, or preview, should I say. See you later. So we're back now, and just before we do our predictions of the game, round 1's now complete in the NRL. We're just going to talk about a couple of games because there is some Wigan interest here. First game, so obviously there was 2 games in Las Vegas as well.
Vegas,
So
yeah.
if you've not heard about that, if you've been living under a rock. The first game though, properly on Australians turf, was Newcastle vs Canberra, and this showed 2 ex-Wigan players. Kai Pearce-Paul at the Knights and Morgan Smithies at Canberra. First thing to say is Morgan Smithies has now made it into the Team of the Week. His first game over there.
Yeah.
A really, really good performance. Both of them have got decent raps from this game. But Canberra win 28 points to 12.
Yep.
Some really good signs for both ex-Wigan players. And Jackson Hastings was in this game as well.
He scored.
I text you, Matty, just about how they'd done and whatever. Obviously, I watched the game back.
Sorry, Lewis, you didn't get a text.
No.
This one.
That's all right.
If you replied, you would know. Morgan Smithies. He went off for HIA in the 67th minute.
Which he passed.
Which he passed, so he's fine. But 44 tackles, 13 carries, 101 metres. Made 1 error, no penalties.
Tricky conditions it was too.
Very, very tricky conditions.
Been
And
dubbed a defensive animal. I think
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
they were calling him.
Yeah, that's a good
I
name.
can't
that.
remember the tweet
Yeah,
now. Someone
defensive
said that Morgan Smithies had tackled a garbage truck or something outside. I saw it as one of the tweets. Kai Pearce-Paul played 40 minutes, 9 carries for 90 metres with 2 offloads.
Not bad.
Made 20 tackles and no errors or no penalties.
Yeah.
He also set up the Jackson Hastings try with his very, very good line.
Yeah, without touching the ball, he set up because he drew all the defenders to him, and Hastings just sort of snuck through.
As we said,
I can't get used to Hastings with his headgear on.
Yeah,
It looks different, doesn't it?
really weird. But two lads that have gone really well, and we're really buzzing for them.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it, when they go down there? I think it's always nice as well, isn't it? Kind of, I like keeping my eye on not just, obviously ex-Wiganers, but obviously English players that go over there as well, with being obviously kind of into the international game. I like watching and following Canberra in the Knights, and, you know, Herbie, obviously I know he was at Brisbane, he's gone to the Dolphins now, and
Dom Young, if he gets back on.
Young, if he can get him on at the Roosters. There's a bit of a...
Sutton's at the Bulldogs.
Is it Canterbury?
Gould said he's the only player who's injured. I think he's got a month out.
That's gutting. But
he had to have neck surgery.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of them injuries where you get injured quite late in the season and it stops you starting the next season. You know what I mean? Like, he's out for the season, but he's also out for a bit of this season as well.
Other games that happened over there, New Zealand hosted Cronulla.
Yeah, my favourite commentator was back.
Oh.
I'm glad they're paying him for another year. He was excellent.
Yeah, but the Sharks win 16 points to 12. Something I want to talk about in this. Fanua Blake signing a contract. He's currently at New Zealand Warriors. He's going to Cronulla at the start of next season. Scores the opening try. Do you reckon that plays in your mind that you're playing the team that you're going to play for next year?
I think it's so weird. Yeah, signing a contract. So this is against his future team.
I'm going to say, isn't the deadline for the day that you can start talking to players is like the 31st of May or something over here?
I can't remember.
But it's the 1st of November the year before.
Yeah.
In Australia.
But they announced it as well to the world. I remember we announced Hastings and Bibby in a Wigan shirt with a Wigan scarf at the DW Stadium midway through the season. They were still playing for Salford and they got to the final. And I think Salford were a bit unhappy about that. But, you know, get over it. But it's weird.
It's a lot in rugby league, though. There's a similar thing with Gilly last season, because he was at Lee on loan, even though he signed for KR for the season. So on the Challenge Cup final, obviously I know he didn't, but do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was weird. He was like, he was on loan at Lee, trying to boot in for them against the team who was going to seven.
He played for Lee, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on loan there. Yeah.
I think that's a little bit different, isn't it? That I don't think Hull KR could obviously fit him. They'd signed him, but they couldn't fit him on the cap.
Yeah, until that season was over. Yeah.
Obviously, the players that they still had Sean Kenny Dowell and X, Y, and Z, so they were waiting for that cap space, and the West Tigers didn't. Gilly wanted to come back. Whatever, I don't know how that ended.
Where was it then? Was it with West Tigers?
It was with the West Tigers, yeah.
It seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Tigers, Roosters. No, he was at Dolphins. Did he sign for Dolphins?
No, I'm sure he was at West Tigers, Gilly.
That was his first team. But I'm sure he signed for the
I don't know.
Roosters and he signed for the Dolphins. He played for the North Sydney Bears at one point, scored 5 tries in a game. I think he was at the Dolphins last.
He definitely played a game for their feeder team, for the Roosters.
Yeah, Roosters feeder team. But I can't remember where he was at the end.
No, he went on loan to the Roosters.
Yeah.
Went on loan to the Roosters when they had an injury crisis.
What about the Dolphins?
He didn't go. He was linked to go to the Dolphins.
Oh, was he only linked? Yeah. Ah, right.
Another game I want to mention, Melbourne versus Penrith. Penrith scoreless. Wigan really got under the skin that much that they've lost all confidence going forward.
I don't know.
Wigan beat them in the World Cup Challenge and all the momentum goes.
They've not scored a try now for 3 halves of football. That's just terrible.
Like,
Nathan Cleary's all that, is he?
Well, he was copying his idol, Harry Smith, kicking from a scrum.
Yeah.
But he wasn't able to execute it.
It didn't lead to a try. Well, ours didn't really, but it should have done.
It should have done.
I forgot my Ricky Stewart fact.
Go on.
Ricky Stewart, 19th season as a head coach. He's starting with another new halfback pairing. He's only ever kept the same one on 2 occasions.
So season to season?
Season to season, he started with a new... So he started with Ethan Strange and Jamal Fogarty. And last year he started with Whiten and Fogarty, didn't he?
See, that's really weird, that, isn't it? Because you would think they're probably the 2 that you want to keep the same. More than anyone else.
Halfbacks, yeah, good point.
That combo.
So he did Whiten and Williams.
Leeds.
Whiten and Williams in 2020 and 21. And obviously Williams left in 21 anyway. And then somebody when he was a Roosters coach in 2003 and 2004. So that feels like there would be more times where you got that crossover.
You would think
with your halfbacks.
You could get a halfback pairing for 2 seasons consistently.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
No,
That's a strange
weird
one.
fact. That was from the Cast Patrol. Who tweeted that?
Right. Parramatta beat the Bulldogs 26 points to 8.
Yeah.
The
Bulldogs are really bad. Sorry,
Staying
Gus.
another long
Doing it for
season.
another long season, unfortunately.
Interesting because they signed Stephen Crichton and I thought he was going to play full back.
So did I.
And they've not. Blake Taft's the.
Yeah. Well, they signed him as well at the same
They
time.
signed Drew Hutchinson from the Roosters, who's played in the halves.
They spent a lot of money, Tom. They spent an awful lot of money to still be that bad.
Crichton playing the centres then.
Well, listen to this for a left side, ready? Matt Burton is the halfback. Your second rower is Viliami Kikau. And your centre is Stephen Crichton. And your winger is Josh Adokar.
That's ridiculous. That's the most expensive left-hand side in world rugby probably ever. And look, West Tigers,
The package just isn't good enough.
they spent a little bit of money. Dragons, they spend no money. We know that. We spoke about it last week. These have spent big. And they're still down there with them other two teams.
I just look at the rest of the side and I'm going, I don't know who these guys are.
They spent too much on star players.
Jermaine Salmon, Kurtman, Samuel Hughes, Josh Curran, Curtis Morin.
Oh, Curran, yeah, he's from the Warriors.
He's not a star.
Well, they spent all the money on that
I know.
left-hand side. If you were attacking them, you wouldn't go down that side, would you?
No,
Or
you'd go and look at the other side. Kiraz, Blake Wilson, Drew Hutchinson and Jacob Preston, who only made his debut last season. And was impressive, I liked him, but...
I like some of those players. I like a lot of the Bulldogs players, but they just don't seem to work as a team. They don't play well, do they?
Parramatta, though, Clint Gutherson and Dylan Brown, Mitch Moses. It's a settled...
They're settled, yeah. I mean, that's the opposite to Ricky.
Pretty much
It's the opposite to Ricky Stewart, isn't it? They've got the same halfbacks, the same fullback every time.
Yeah.
Wonder if
Year on
the
year.
Canterbury coach is still making his players wrestle all
Too
the other
much.
players.
It's still the same coach.
Whenever they laid it's
Weird.
the best story quite well.
When they were walking out of training, oh, that was
It was
terrible.
proper made a proper like moral panic over in Australia that as well. There was all on that NRL 360 and whatever about his players. Is it acceptable? He's made him wrestle every other member of the team because he was late by 10 minutes. So he's got him in the ring and said you're going to wrestle every other member of the team.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
What I loved about it was
It's funny as
everyone
well,
had an opinion on it.
Yeah.
People that I've not heard of are coming out saying, when I played my season in the NRL, we had to wrestle every week. It's like, well, that's not the
You
point,
didn't have
is
to
it?
wrestle 25 blokes one day, though, because you were late by 10 minutes. How much time did they waste doing all that wrestling anyway?
I've heard of fines, I've heard of like wacky punishments, and there was apparently one at Wigan where you had to get your
died.
died and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or you had clean toilets or something like that. But no, you're going to wrestle like 25 blokes back to back.
Oh, right. Let's move over to St George versus the Titans. St George win 28 points to 4.
Yeah.
The new coach at the Dragons.
Des.
No, the Titans is Des.
You just said Titans.
The Dragons have brought in Flanagan, haven't
Flano.
they? And he's brought his son with him. It's starting to look like a bit more of a settled side for me that I'm quite impressed with. Sloan, Lomax,
Did he score, Flanagan?
Flanagan scored.
Yeah, so he scored in this game and kissed the badge or whatever. The Dragons badge.
Played one game.
His first game. Someone put it side by side with a try he scored 8 months ago where he kissed the Canterbury badge. Right, this might not mean too much, pals. Don't read too much into this.
I just think I quite like that halfback partnership. Ben Hunt, Carl Flanagan. I think that could be a.
But it's not going to get bums on seats, is it? But it's solid.
It's solid, and I think it'll pick them up wins.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at the Titans, obviously Des is now the head coach there, and you're looking at the halfback partnership of I think it's Thomas Weaver and Tanner Boyd. Brimpson played centre. Keono Keeney played full back.
Someone said to me, Gold Coast might be an alright side if Tino could play all forward positions.
I think they're very dominant on Fafita and
If
Fino.
Fafita could play left centre and everyone else was Tino,
Yeah.
there'd be a good pack. I think that's what the point was. Maybe they've got two good players in the pack.
And didn't the Bulldogs try and sign him with a pup? Like they were going to give him a
Yeah,
pup or
remember
something.
that? The dog and partridge.
Well, I got you that comment when I said, how does that work on his... And his application via,
Right, last game though
go on with the dog and bear treat.
was I didn't back them at the start of last season, and they showed me up. I backed them this week, and they've let me down. I don't know what to do with the Finns. They got dominated, 18 points to 43.
Yeah.
A really impressive performance from
Chad Townsend and his Cowboys, really.
Cowboys. It was a really good first game. They looked sharp.
Tom Dearden was good. I like that new centre, Laybutt.
Laybutt and Val Holmes, that's a good centre partnership.
You guys should watch the try Laybutt scored. He's got the most outrageous, delicious dummy.
Is it better than Bevan French's? Every Bevan French dummy ever.
Well, every Bevan French dummy ever
Should land in roll.
should land in row L at the TW, or if it's Castleford, should land in Pontefract. But this one actually was a delicious, saucy dummy.
A one-handed.
One-handed flick dummy, Benji Marshall's dummy style. What a try!
Oh, brilliant.
The shark, the hammerhead, giving off try assist to the other team.
Kick the ball to the opposing.
You know, I watched that, and they put a kick in behind, and he does really well. He gets there quick. And rather than just dive on it, I think, does he try and like flick it up to himself? Or so? I don't know what he's trying to do.
He
but he
kicks
just
it.
kicks it straight to the
Cowboy.
oncoming attacker.
I do think they were hard done to with the Cowboys. They had a penalty try, and I thought it was really, really harsh, and that kind of killed the game. But the Dolphins, they conceded too many barge overs for me.
Yeah.
And you do see a lot of barge overs in the NRL, a lot of crash balls, because the defence is so aggressive. But to me, the Dolphins have conceded too many, just a few crash overs, and like you got to stop them.
No.
Is it Wayne Bennett still in charge of the
Yeah.
or is he handed it over to Christian Wolf?
So he's got this season in charge, and then he hands it over to
and
Wolf.
then it's going over to Wolf.
It's a
right?
weird
So he's got one more
situation.
in Bennett.
It's a weird situation as well, isn't it? Because what if the Dolphins do terribly? Do you change to Wolf early,
Yeah.
or do you bring someone else in? I don't know.
I don't think you can set a penny, can you?
Well, I don't know.
But I just want to talk about the NRL for one more minute. Who do you think's going to win it? Any favourites over there? I should say West Tigers also picked up 2 points.
West Tigers undefeated.
They played the bye. Great start for them. Guaranteed 2 points, and it's probably the only 2 points they're guaranteed for this season.
Yeah, the bye was actually
Favourites.
favourites.
You ask the bookies.
It's harsh on the Tigers.
Oh, who's going to win it? It's interesting, isn't it?
All the good teams have started with a loss.
Well, this might be easier to start with.
Souths,
Who do you think's going to get the wooden spoon over there?
the wooden spoon.
It's between West Tigers, the Bulldogs for me.
I think it's probably. I don't want to say the Tigers again. It probably is the Tigers, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't believe they let Nofaluma go. That was a weird situation. Do you reckon he got a barbecue like Luke Brooks did? Who do you think will win it over there? I don't want to say Penrith. I think the Broncos are going to win
I
this
think
year.
it is probably going to be Penrith, but I mean they never start that well, do they?
No.
But they started with a loss. Brisbane started with a loss. Souths lost. So I don't know.
Melbourne, obviously.
Melbourne will be up
Good
there
show.
again.
I think they'll be a top
Roosters
four
will be
side.
much improved.
Oh, you're hoping Roosters will improve and be
I think the
competitive
Rabbitohs will
again.
improve again.
Yeah, Rabbitohs. I hope Manly do well. The
If
league
Turbo stays fit, they could win it.
the league needs a strong Manly.
If Turbo stays fit, they could win it.
He's not going to though, is he? Unfortunately.
Well, he's done a game now. That's more than he did last season. I'm going to go the Broncos to win it.
Go on, I'll go Melbourne.
I will pick. Why not? South Sydney.
Ooh.
It's a rogue shout. I just don't want to pick Penrith, but it probably is going to be them, isn't it?
I think we all think Penrith will be there or thereabouts, but we're going different. I'm backing Lee Breers to get him over the line.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I like this Broncos team. Nice, young, exciting team.
Right. We sent the poll out early because we're only filming this on a Wednesday, but we're going to do our predictions for this set of games.
Yeah, worth
And-
saying, the listeners, you're on 8.
Yep.
Lewis, 8. You and the listeners have picked every game the same so far.
Okay.
Dukesy, you're on 7.
Well, you're letting me down.
I've got 10.
I thought I went for a differential though.
The only team letting me down was St Helens, and if that's the only team that let me down,
Yeah.
I've had a good week.
I think this week should be a little easier to pick, but there is one game that might be more difficult on Saturday. We'll start off though because we're playing on Thursday with Wigan. A few players back for Wigan.
Yeah.
Liam Byrne.
French
again,
and Smith will be back, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Salford obviously now going to be missing Cade Cust. after failing his HIA, so that's a loss for them.
Yeah.
Who do we think, lads, and why? What's going to be the standout? I'm going to go Wigan, and I think this might be a little bit of another try and flex our muscles. Sheffield the week after.
I hope it is. Yeah.
And players fighting for a shirt. Still, I think the forwards are going to be fighting for shirts.
Yeah.
We talked about players wanting a rest and needing a rest, but is Dupree going to want to have a break? Is Thompson going to want a break? Cade Ellis had one, and he will come back in at 13. But will Paddy Mago want one? Because you might not get back in. Harvey Hill's not going to put his hand up for a break, and Chan.
I'm going to go, obviously, Wigan, but close.
Yeah.
I think Salford, and if I was Paul Rowley, I would be kind of going with the mentality and the narrative of they've just beat Saints. How good would it be if we could go back if we can go back to back and do Saints and Wigan?
That'd be 4 wins in a row.
Do you know what I mean? And I'd be going for that. I've noticed that's always a big ask for them, but I think there's a narrative there for Paul. The coach to ramp up his players.
I look at the squad and they've announced it now. We're only able to name 20 players. Singleton's out, Partington's out, Cust is out now. They've brought in Joe Bullock on loan, who is available because they only named 20.
Dudson.
Dudson, sorry. Bullock's gone back to Warrington.
I just want to talk about Paul Rowley a second. I watched on Sunday Wakefield against Featherstone, the two mud teams in the mud bath. Great game, considering it was played in awful conditions, and anyone that wants a return to winter rugby, that's what you want. But Paul Rowley was guest commentator, and he was fantastic.
He speaks very, very well.
He was really, really good. Really good. I was very impressed with him as an analyser. A lot of what he said came true. He hit the nail on the head a few times. Featherstone got the win. It was a good game, so it was worth mentioning. Featherstone won. It was in the Challenge Cup, so they're through to the next round. It was an extra time. But yeah, horrible conditions, but decent game. And Paul Rowley, give him credit, he was decent on the comms.
Yeah. Right. Next game, Leeds versus Saints. Lewis?
Spicy. Where is it? Is it at...
It's at Leeds.
It's at Leeds.
At Leeds. Oh, okay. I think it's a tough place to go. No, you know what? I'm going to go. I think there's a lot of, I suppose, pressure and motivation on Saints to bounce back after a disappointing loss to Salford. So I think that kind of motivation will get them over the line, even though Headingley is a very tricky place to go. So I'm going to go Saints.
This is happening 2 weeks in a row, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're for the...
The cup game is Leeds against Saints as well.
Yep.
Oh, right to see that. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Which is what happened to us last year. We played Leeds and then we played Leeds straight away again.
Yeah.
We split and won each, didn't we? We won one game and lost one. I think that might be true for this one as well. I'm going to go for... did you go for Saints, Lewis?
I went Saints.
I think I'm going to go for Saints. Listeners pick Saints.
Listeners have gone Saints, but they've gone really close.
I think it's going to be close.
54% have gone Saints, 46 have gone Leeds. I'm going to go Saints. But personal ban, but it does bring some doubt into how they're...
That might be an interesting game, that.
Should have said 96% of fans went for Wigan.
Yeah.
Is that Friday night at Leeds and Saints?
Yep. On to, I think it's, let me just check, it's Saturday, 3 o'clock. Huddersfield, Hull KR at Huddersfield.
Oh, yeah.
This is tough.
Tough one.
The listeners have gone Hull KR, 66% of votes, but quite a large amount gone for Huddersfield. I'm going to follow them and I'm going to go Hull KR.
Hull KR, not in greatest form. Huddersfield had a good win.
Was against Cass.
Didn't look great against us. I'll go for Hull KR as well.
Hard to say Huddersfield. I mean, Eddie's saying you let you down all last season. No, I can't. You let me down all last season. Okay.
You're off the Ian Watson train now.
I am, yeah.
Took it easy as in his camp.
Right. Got the warmest ears in Yorkshire. That one.
A game that's quite close. Here goes.
Oh, wait, hang on. How many people voted for... Oh, no, wait, hang on. How many people did you say voted for Huddersfield in that one?
34%.
Okay. That's quite close.
Right. Hull FC versus Lee. Two teams that haven't won yet.
Oh, yeah. No, Hull FC won.
Hull FC beat London, sorry. Yeah, I should include that.
I'll go with...
over in Hull.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going Lee. Lewis? I've caught you off guard there, Lewis, haven't I?
I caught me mid-yawn, sorry.
I don't know.
I'm not boring you, mate.
Yeah,
Thanks,
tough
pal.
this. Lachlan Lamb's gone off injured, but he's been named in the squad, you said, didn't he?
I think he has, yeah.
Could still play. Hull have got, I think, Gupper coming back. Franklin Pelle's back from a ban, I think.
Yeah.
But I think going to
The other one's not there. What's his name?
Essay. Is he?
Oh, SA was back. Is Pele back?
He offloaded. I feel like SA offloaded for a try.
Yeah, so
No, I think
back,
SA is
but
back.
Pele back.
I think he's
thought
back
it
this
was
week.
four.
I thought this was his last
No,
one.
he got 3.
Did he get 3?
He got 3, and it was round 1, wasn't it? So I think he's
He'll
back.
be
for
back
this
this
one.
time. Yeah, you're right.
I might help Lee.
Yeah. No, go on. I'm not saying enough from Hull FC. Lee.
Matty?
I'll go for Lee as well. What did the listeners pick?
65% have gone for Lee.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think that's probably about right.
Do I need to ask? Catalans, Castleford.
Well,
What 4% voted for Castleford?
4%.
No, I'm sorry.
4% of people voted for Castleford.
I've
There's
got
also
Catalans.
4% of people listening to this podcast who support Castleford, and I think we've just found out either way. Yeah, Catalans.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? By how many is the question?
Could be a lot. Last one. London versus Warrington.
This is going to be a
I've
clean
gone-
sweep this week,
Yeah,
isn't
why?
it?
I've gone Warrington.
Should we bother putting up the graphic this week? Everyone's picked the same.
Might
I,
as well.
I presume the listeners have picked Warrington.
Is this bigger than the Castleford vote? But 18% think London will win. I'm hoping that someone's just pressed the wrong button. And got fat thumbs.
18% of optimistic people are hoping Warrington are going to lose at London. Don't back London.
No, I've not. I'm
Oh,
going
right.
Warrington.
Yeah,
I can't back London for a
So
game.
we're all back to same 6. All right, at least
Yeah.
I'll still be winning after this week then.
Imagine if all of them lost.
If we went 0 for 6 in a week, we'd have to retire the prediction segment.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I think that wraps it up, lads.
Yep.
Reminder, the wheelchair team have the European Championship coming up on the 6th of April. Get your tickets booked. We'll be there. And
Good Friday tickets.
Good Friday tickets. They've just been announced, haven't they? They will be
Yep.
on sale tomorrow.
Sheffield tickets.
I don't
Play,
think they
play,
mentioned anything
play
about
Sheffield on a Friday.
them on a
think
Friday.
it's a
Be
Friday.
good. Hope you all have a good week and hope we get the result we want tomorrow.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.